The second time that you were, well, on September 21st, when you're interviewed by Detective Dismukes, did he ask you about information that he had developed?
I believe he started off the questioning about if there was any crush that I may have had on Nancy, that he had had an interview with somebody that indicated there might have been some romantic feelings. I think that's what, I don't remember exactly what he said, something along those lines.
And what'd you tell him?
I told him there was no romantic feelings and there was no relationship, but we had an indiscretion one time after this Halloween party.
And what did you tell him actually happened?
I told him that I didn't remember virtually any details from that evening. My memory was extremely vague, and we were both very intoxicated, and I don't remember much of that evening. But I told him the facts that I did remember from that evening.
And what facts did you tell him that you did remember from the evening?
I remembered, I believe, Nancy asking me to walk her home, and I went with her and the Duncans back to their side of the neighborhood and went in the house. I remember taking a shower. I remember coming back downstairs. Again, I'm acknowledging my memory about this is extremely vague. But I do remember taking a shower. I do remember coming downstairs. Nancy was downstairs and sitting on the couch. I believe we talked for a while. She began taking her clothes off. I took my clothes off, and we, I believe, started to have sex. I believe we stopped. My memory is that we stopped and got dressed and decided to never speak about it again.
When did you make that decision?
I believe it was the next day or the following day. I don't remember exactly.
How did you have the discussion?
I think it was a phone call. I'm not sure.
And when Detective Dismukes asked you if you actually had sex with Nancy, what was your response?
I didn't recall. We may have. I believe that was our response.
After you spoke with with Detective Dismukes on the 21st of September, the only other contact you had with law enforcement was a meeting in your house?
I met with Detective Daniels right before the trial started, briefly, and that was the only other law enforcement interaction I recall.
And can you describe what happened at that meeting?
He was just informing me that there was a chance I was going to be called as a witness.
Detective Adam Dismukes, Gary Police Department, dated September 21st, 2008. The time is 1:00 p.m. Interview with John Pearson. Okay. Some of this may seem a little personal, but again, it's just information we want to make sure. So, this is the reason I wanted to call you down here. Okay. Just information that we got in speaking with other people. They had told us that you may one time had a crush or developed some type of feelings for Nancy. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
No.
Okay. Nothing for romantic reasons, anything like that?
No. I will tell you, and I have a lot of concern about talking about this because of many reasons, but
right.
Like you said, it's very personal. And I've seen, not from the criminal standpoint, I'm not worried about talking to you about it.
Right.
I'm more worried about the press.
Right.
I'm worried about the issues regarding the custody, and that, I'm going to be brought into something potentially that really is irrelevant.
Right.
And I'll tell you that one time, Nancy and I got a little physical and inappropriate. We both agreed it was inappropriate, and nothing ever happened before or after.
Okay.
That's 3 years ago, and it was not romantic at all.
Okay.
At all. Not before, not after. It was stupid people being drunk. And
Can you tell me, elaborate as far as what happened?
just after a party, she invited me over to her place, and physical. And I just put an end to it and we stopped. Talked the next day, I said, that was stupid, let's not ever do that again. And then we both agreed we never tell anybody.
Okay.
So I never told anybody, and I believe she never told anybody.
Okay. So that was 3 years ago that happened. And was it a Christmas party or a birthday party? What was it?
It was a Halloween party.
Halloween party. Okay, so around 2005. And so you were at the Halloween party, and she asked you to come back to her house. What happened from there?
She asked me to take a shower because I had makeup on for my costume party. I took a shower, came back down, dressed, and we just made out on the couch. So I remember.
Was it just kissing? Was there anything else?
I believe that's all it was. And again, I was really drunk, and I went home, and that was it.
Okay.
We both agreed that was
Okay. So, I mean, you clothes on or clothes off? Or clothes off?
Yeah, for a short period of time, and then
Okay.
back on.
Her clothes were off too?
She took her clothes off.
You didn't have sex, intercourse, anything like that?
Not that I recall. I mean, again, I was very drunk.
Right. And what was her state of
Very
mind?
drunk.
She was drunk too. And I understand what you're telling me, that both of you were intoxicated. But again, that's one of those things we don't want to make sure we have accurate, because we don't want it to come into play. So it's good to get it all out now.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had intercourse. All I know is that we were both naked, and I don't remember that. But she doesn't remember that either.
Okay.
I asked her about it, what happened. She said, I don't really remember. We both don't remember. We just know we were, physical.
Okay.
And that's all I know. I mean, and then it was just like before. We were just friends and nothing of any interest. So I don't know who's telling you there was any romantic interest or crush or that I want anything more. It's not true.
Okay. And that was an isolated incident. Nothing happened after that.
Nothing before, nothing after.
Okay. All right. July 11th, I asked you about that. You said you were with Heather. July 11th, is that right?
Friday, July 11th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Friday, July 11th. Okay. And can you tell me again what you said you had gotten home from work and you went out to dinner or something like that? Was that correct?
Yeah, I don't know how you do this. I mean, this is like watching these cold pieces on TV. These people giving these depositions years later. I'm going to tell you what I remember.
No,
If it
that's
contradicts, I'm sorry, but
I just want you to. I just want to rehash. I'm going back because
Okay.
trying to get an accurate picture. I've talked to a lot of people, so I just want to make sure.
yeah.
I'm not looking to hem you up or anything like that. I'm just trying
I
to
feel vulnerable that way, though, because I feel like, I gave you all the information I had, all the information I could think of without putting my kids in jeopardy or my livelihood and getting dragged into some sort of public situation. I gave you all the information I have. And so I understand you're doing your job. I'm just trying to figure out, am I going to be, you're saying you're not, but I feel like I'm going to be called in again. If for some reason my data can be today, it's not going to be exactly the same thing I said. I really don't remember 100%. I'll tell you what I remember is that I was on a business trip until Thursday night.
Okay.
I got home very late and went over to Heather's on Thursday night. Friday, I went back to my place and worked all day. I think I even had the kids for the afternoon, possibly. I went over to her house in the evening, I believe. We had some dinner.
That's on Friday.
Friday night. Stayed at her house, got up at, I believe, 6:15ish. Went over to my apartment, got my kids at 6:30, where my wife dropped them off, and I had them all back.
6:30 that morning.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
12.
Okay. So you had stayed with Heather.
Yep.
Okay. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to make sure I was remembering correctly what you
Yeah.
told me. So
I just don't remember if we ate out or if we ate at her house. I don't completely remember.
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I probably should have phrased it differently. But okay. So you were with her, then you left her about 6:30 that morning.
The latest. I think I had to meet my wife at 6:30.
Okay.
Ex-wife.
Okay. So she was dropping the kids off.
Yeah, for the day.
And Heather was at home with you at her house with you that night. And did she wake up with you Saturday morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was with me.
Okay. All right. And did she meet with you later after you got the kids?
No. She met me later on Saturday. What happened was I had the kids all day. This is typical. On Saturday, my wife goes to work, drops them off in the morning, and then after work, she may pick them up on her way home. And I think that's what happened. Because she's going to this concert at the Regency. So my ex-wife came to picked up the kids. Typically, it's between 3 and 4, somewhere in that time zone. I was alone in my apartment for a little while, and then Heather called me and said Nancy's missing. At about 5, I think. She was on her way to the concert, or at the concert, I don't remember. It was like, I'm going to this concert, I just found out, I'm checking with other friends, no one knows where she is. She's been missing since this morning.
I was told last night, though, by an attorney, hey, when the prosecution makes your guy out to be really bad, starts talking about personal things, you have to stand up for your guy. If that means dragging some stuff out there that you would prefer not to.
If it were just about dragging something out there to make a victim look bad, that's not something that I'm prepared to do. If there is benefit to the case for innocence, if it makes it clear that there is a reason that our client is less likely guilty of the crime, then I believe it's appropriate to do. And in this case, I think that it was extremely relevant because there was at least one relationship that led to an initial interview with a police officer where the witness said, I had a casual relationship with Nancy Cooper and nothing more. We were barely friends. And then in a subsequent interview, completely did a 180-degree turn and said that he had had a sexual encounter with Nancy on the evening of a Halloween party. When someone lies to police detectives in the context of a homicide investigation and then says that there's a pattern of phone calls between him and that woman and specifies that he knows what her jogging route is in the morning and that she had frequently in the past asked him to go jogging, that man deserved to be followed up with as a suspect. At that point, that interview needed to turn into an interrogation as opposed to a casual questioning. The opposite was true. And when that's the case, it's not about dragging somebody through the mud. It's about pointing out that the police had a predetermined outcome that they wanted to see achieved, and that they were ignoring and actively obfuscating evidence in the case that could lead to other suspects.